To get started here, welcome everyone to Carson County this morning. Our microphones are working today, Taylor. Okay, we'll remind ourselves to use them. Adoption of the agenda. If you flip to additional items, Murray had one item regarding the Carson County Shooting Association. Councillor Baker had one item regarding a parcel of land in Mountain View for consideration. And I thought I would just bring you guys up to speed with the last one here with the emergency management meeting that we had. Just a brief discussion on that. And I don't hear of anything else that needs to be included in today's agenda. If there is, please bring it forward. Councillor Harris has moved that we adopt the agenda as amended. Those in favor? Carried. Excellent. At this time, we'll move to item 4, and we will turn it over to the Deputy Reeve to conduct the Municipal Planning Commission. Before we adopt the Carson RCN attachment. Okay. He's representing the group today with our quarterly statistics. So welcome, Don, and we'll give you some time here if you brief us on some of the policing activity in our jurisdiction.
I don't have much, like in the sense of, you've got all the stats up there. This is essentially our fourth quarters or our year-end stats. So for that, we met or exceeded all of our priorities that we're obligated to consult with you guys, but we consult with you guys with the get, so like our road patrols in Carson and kind of stuff. So we exceeded all those priorities. Going forward, I don't know if Sergeant Wright mentioned this, we are moving from what we call the APP or the annual performance plan. It's now being renamed as community priorities plan. We're still going, I don't know, I assume it's going to be similar. It's probably more community involvement, I'm guessing. But we don't have a lot of information on it yet. So going forward, we'll keep you guys apprised of what it's going to look like. Essentially, it just comes down to our priorities, I believe Sergeant Wright already consulted you guys with going forward for the new stuff. So it just falls under the new community priorities plan, but essentially it's, we fall under 3 umbrellas. That's our traffic, crime reduction, and community engagement. So we try to do like a certain amount of tickets per year, fair driving charges. We started looking at some of the rural school zones as a little bit more of a priority, trying to get some members out in those areas as well. Under crime reduction, we got drug interdiction, rural patrols, police visibility, and foot patrols within the town for the drug and alcohol uses downtown. Community engagement, we try to do a couple of town halls a year, we do a few presentations, and we try to have a lot of members. Each member is assigned a school or duplicate reductions. They do a couple of schools. So we make sure that they're out in those schools several times a year individually. So or a few times a month. We try to do lockdown drills with them, that sort of thing. So, as for all the stats, the only anomaly I really noticed going through it myself here was the criminal code traffic that jumped to like 800%. So, over the years, I think it's had 1 or 2. Normally, what those are be like our criminal code impaired driving charges and or disqualified driving, dangerous driving, stuff like that. Most of that stuff get dealt with provincially, so you might get a ticket for driving without due care. An officer might make a discretionary call and decide that it's more so than that. It might bump dangerous driving. Also with the criminal code impairs, over the last 4 or 5 years, the province has jumped to a provincial mandate for that, I guess. So all of our Right? So it's
It's
just,
a new season of campers, as you can see, there's. Cam, you've always had concerns regarding the people entering our municipality on Blue Trail. That's remains a concern. What else is there that?
So yeah, Highway 10 and 505. I mean, I did get run off the road last long weekend in August. Joe lives right off of it. The long weekend, it was snowed on May long weekend, so nobody came to Waterton. The problem is that that road's kind of no man's land because because it's at the edge of two detachments, right? And so we don't get a lot of. Yeah.
So they're on that road, but if you see something like that, try to play, phone it to us or phone it in.
We actually did, and nothing happened. So yeah. So.
You reported it to us?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll check it on it.
So.
Is there anything you'd like him to return a report with the Sergeant Wright at all? I mean, he's representing the attachment. Oh,
I'd just like to commend you on your rural presence. You know, I see it out my way, especially with the river access south of Kimball. And every so often you guys drive through the campground, which is the big assistance to us, and people know that you're around. So I appreciate your presence that way.
Shift, so they shift. And at least twice a day, guaranteed you got somebody doing patrols somewhere. Now that's more prominent, so the Saltmen start going to see them. And it's always full, there's always somebody doing that. Some of the other ones aren't, getting hit all the time, because you don't get, guys don't maybe get a traffic stop or do like a mandatory alcohol screening, but the patrols are consistently.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 or 3 a day at least, so they're out there, so that's good.
Appreciate it.
thank you for meeting or exceeding our priorities. As you said, you've noted those priorities and you're acting on those priorities. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. You do.
All right, we will move to recess here real quick. We're going to conduct a couple of public hearings. What I'd like to do is start with. Yes, we'll call the public hearing is ordered for file 8/7/2026. It's almost noon hour. Can you believe it? We haven't even dug deep into
work in 50 minutes.
I was quite happy with only 5.
Me too, we had 40 chairs.
Yeah.
Just getting weak.
Yeah.
And I only want to talk.
Okay, so 5.1 is completed. We need to go backwards now. Oh, we're going to go forward. We're going forward here with adoption of the minutes of our May 11th meeting. The minutes were provided previously. Any corrections to be noted there? Any further discussion? A motion on the table to approve the minutes as presented? Those in favor? Carried. Any business arising from the minutes? If you want to just take a quick look, if there's anything you'd like to talk about at all regarding what we talked about at our last meeting?
Yes, there is one thing that I would like to bring up.
Go ahead.
On the municipal reserve policy. I was going to deal with this last meeting and totally slipped up and let it slide by. The policy states that we review that price every 3 years. I would like to make the motion that policy says we review it every year just to stay current. And I think that's an appropriate move at this moment. So I'll put that motion on the table that we review that policy yearly. That is under 13.1 of last minute's meetings.
Any commentary on the motion request to review yearly? If we look back at the history Murray, you bring the policies, like the rotation is every couple or 3 years or something?
We try to rotate it on a regular basis. I'm not gonna say we hit everything 100%, but
Is a year appropriate in this case?
I don't mind that because it does deal with finance, It's the same as our policy and different things. We review
You
those,
could do it.
Mhm.
or we could do it in October or effect January.
Mike,
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, I left early here last meeting. And I was here for part of the discussion on the values. Just so that I'm clear at my end here. Division 3, that's Rogers Division, would be at 4,000 an acre and the rest of the counties at 6.
Correct.
Okay. When is this going to kick in? Now, you see, I've got out.
On any new applicant, anything in stream, same, but new.
If it's. There may have been something that came in here since that last meeting. Obviously used June 1st. We got, unofficially here at work, because I want to give the guys, they're sitting here, I've got a couple here that gets in there.
I think the motion we made was the next day.
Yeah, it was.
In fairness to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
As the minutes, yeah, the minutes of the meeting.
so should we make a new motion with that?
Well, if we just attach to Counselor Bevan's motion that and the policy changed to July 1st, 2026.
June first, be better than it's just, that's a today's meeting. I'll tell my girls and that, if anything comes in after June 1st.
And I certainly don't have a problem with that, especially like you say, you not knowing, and then you've told a few that it was the old rate. I have no issue with that one. But, yeah,
All right, I think that's appropriate. Sounds like there's agreement around the table to approve your motion. So any other questions?
So just maybe clarify, can we review the fees in October then?
Yeah.
Can you make that part of your motion?
yeah, that's every October, just review it so that, yeah. Yeah. That would be good.
Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that. That was business arising from the minutes. Item 8, any unfinished business that were. Marie says that no one is here for 12:40 or 11:45. Why don't we move to item 12? This one's pretty straightforward. During the months of July and August, council considers holding one meeting for the month. That's kind of been our standard for the last many years.
Unless it's needed, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we just go that one meeting, July and August,
And that'll be the first.
of the month. Yes. Yep. Whatever that second week is, I could tell you here real quick. Yep, 13th of July and 10th of August, yep.
By 13, August 10. All right. Those in favor? Carried. This next one, 12.2, from what I read here, and Councillor Nish can fill in on this. He went on a visit with the Public Works Director, Matt, and you recommend, Tom, that we do not participate in building a berm. Is that right?
The build burn. We upgraded the road, right, we went several years ago, I remember.
Over 10, I believe.
And the water stays there, takes its fence out of it. We'd like a berm along there, and I understand his desire for a berm. So just think that we need to be careful. So I'll make a motion to do the berm and we'll go there
To build the berm?
to build the berm.
But you're saying it's before hospital, do it? Gotta have a positive. Has to be a positive. I learned something.
Yeah, you can't
I
make a
can see
negative motion.
I can see his desire and what he needs to do, but we have multiple areas in the county that would require the same thing. But I'll make a motion that we construct a berm for him so that he can put his fence on it.
We have, he has brought this forward before, council has turned him down. Usually anything along the fence line like this, council or Public Works looks at it, what's the benefit to us? And if there's a benefit to us, then we can do it. But I don't see any benefit, and Matt doesn't see any benefit to us per se.
So his request is that we build the berm or he gets permit to do it?
No.
We built the berm.
That
We built the berm and then he'll do the fencing.
So do we have a problem if he builds the berm?
Not really, but we don't, I have to have Matt look at it because I just don't want it to interfere with our drainage or anything. I don't think there would be a problem, but Matt would need to correct that for me. Because I believe it's right in this area somewhere.
So I'd say the request right now is for us to vote on that. If you would like to, we can make that request to give permission.
Yeah, I'm not familiar at all with the location situation or,
It's just off of Highway 2, about I don't know whether it's about a kilometer off of Highway 2 along the Jack Low Road there going.
Somewhere in this area where
Yeah.
the water is laying along the ditch.
oh, yeah.
Any further discussion? Councillor Nish is engage and do construct this. Those in favor? Those opposed? Motion was defeated. All right, we move from a human-built berm to a varmint animal-built berm. Beaver dam removal process. We got some issues with varmints out there that we need to talk about.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's a good statement. I didn't.
Right. I'll give you a little background on it. When I was on, Matt and I went for the road tour, we went down this road. It's just off of Highway 501 where it turns to go to the east. There's a Shanks Lake over there and there's a beaver dam stopping the water from going down the drainage ditch there, Shanks Creek. And some of the residents further down were wanting the dam removed so that they could have water for their cattle. So Matt took a look at it and he said, yeah, we'd probably take it out. And I said, well, you know, that's probably would help the people downstream from there. But I'm not sure on the process whether we have to have an official approval to do that or not. And then meantime, Matt had most of the beaver dam is removed. The house is still there, and somehow the ended up dead on the shore. Somebody helped it along. Wasn't our people from the county, because it was killed on the bank. So and it created for the adjacent landowner to the lake. He's not very happy about the beaver being destroyed and he figured we encroached on his land, taking the dam out. So I don't know what Murray found out from there.
Yeah, no, I called Alberta Environment. They haven't returned my call yet. That was the only real concern is there a process to remove beaver dams? I don't know. So I've called Corinne. She hasn't got back to me yet. Matt did do the job from the road, so we didn't encroach anybody's land, and even all that land around there, basically, I'm gonna point out my map. This is the lake, so that's all government. This is the road allowance, so the individual's land is here and here. Would not have impacted them. Our guys would not have shot it because none of them carry. We don't carry weapons in our vehicles. I'm assuming someone probably driving by or that wants the water had an opportunity and took it out so he wouldn't have to worry about it. So once we find out what the environment says on that, we'll try to do a standard operating practice, put that formally in our system so we know. But yeah, I don't.
There are groups out there that want us to coexist with the beaver. I think you guys know the ones I'm talking about.
If the beaver would have allowed a certain amount of water down, there probably wouldn't have been any issues, but.
Beaver is, it can be beneficial, but at the same time, it can do a lot of damage. And
Yeah.
you gotta look at every situation a little, the way, like here, you look at,
The location of the dam. Right in here. And adjacent to the bridge, it was up against the bridge and so we didn't encroach on any of this property. The road allowance actually well further more into the property than the fence line. So,
If that road is right, we know it's not, I mean, the road's right, but the property line might not be completely there, but
Compromise our infrastructure. Yeah, and the guys down the road are getting water for their cattle.
yeah, no, that would mean the bridge wasn't in danger, but if we had a normal spring and the beaver backed the water up more, it may have had an impact. I think as long as what we need to make sure is we have, what the rules are on removing a beaver dam and what we need to do. If it's up to us to determine that, then that's great. And if it's not, then I thank Murray for looking into it and for bringing it up at council. I told the adjacent landowner that I would, and so. But the landowners down the stream there are quite happy. I'm sure that the water's flowing again because they've had several years now that they haven't had water because of the irrigation canal. When they built the irrigation canal, it kind of cut the water off and they had to put a turnout in the canal to run water down there. So when there's no water in the canal, there's nothing to run down there. So they're quite excited to get water again. Okay.
so no action here, no decision needs to be made. Murray is awaiting Alberta Environment, if direction on this, if any. Mike, we want to invite you to stay here and we can just briefly talk about this before you go. You want to have a bite with us? And we'll do this over closed. I think if time's come, we can motion to, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Roger. Steve's here to talk about strychnine, I guess. We can resume and do that if,
Yeah, I need to know if we're in support of getting. I know when we talked last, there's a lot of rules, regulations around it. Farmers, I'm hearing from farmers, yeah, we'll say we'll do it, we're not gonna do it. And I don't blame them, but I don't want to hear that from them because our name is tied to it. But I guess first thing, if we're behind, if we're gonna order it. I was hoping to have forms for you. We had a meeting on Wednesday. They showed us all the forms on the SharePoint. But you go on to print them off and there's nothing there. It shows there's jail time, there's the fines, everything is already on there. They gotta, like we talked about before, they still gotta go out and check every day for a week after. If it's a severe infestation, they gotta go out twice a day. You gotta document when they go out. And it's not just, like I say, not just where you put the gopher poison, but you gotta do a 20-meter vicinity around that. So that includes the ditches or anything. And also, after you do all that, before you get any more, you got to fill out an evaluation form, and all that's got to be brought back to us, and we got to upload it to the shared file with the government. I was hoping to have papers, but the folders are all empty. And they said 20 cases is all we'll be able to get. It's in Canada now. I can order it from Agromax, who did it before. That's who's doing it again. So I can order it. They said maximum is going to be 20 cases, but it might be less than that as well. $440 a case, 24 bottles in a case. 8,000-ish. Yeah. If you order, it's the frustrating part is it's always changing. Nothing's been written. We want something in writing from them, but they haven't given us anything in writing. They said 20 cases, $440 would be the cost of it. There'll be no shipping. But they said also, they're saying now that, well, if you don't get the 20 cases, then there's going to be, because we run out of stock, then there's going to be freight on that. But they won't clarify anything. So that's all I know right now.
it sounds like an administrative nightmare.
This is in the province. Yeah. Yeah. Species at risk is a big concern. Like you say, it's always, they're saying one thing, paperwork's not really matching up. Species at risk is a big thing now. Badgers are on the species at risk. That is one thing that you cannot harm. They were saying if you have badger in your place, you can't put the strychnine out. But now they're saying, well, if you mitigate it, what's the mitigation measure you're going to give? And we want to know. They were asking for the farmer, the producer, to tell us what the mitigation process is to limit the effects to the species at risk, and then we sign off on it. So only form I do have, it's in my office, is the sign that you have to post at every entrance when you're doing it. That's the only form I was able to get so far. To the field that you're putting strychnine in.
The gopher poison from USA. I got a neighbor that says he used it. He's had really good success.
I've used it personally. I had really good success. The first year I used the broad oat bait. The next year I didn't.
Okay.
It is hit and miss. It depends on the seed. I don't know why.
Okay.
But
He just said he had those little tubes and all.
yeah, bait tubes.
Yeah, just like found that go. Oh.
You didn't bait basement.
No. It's got to be down the hole, and we all know. And then they're saying it's gonna be buried, and I know that ain't gonna. If you bury it, but that's what the label says, and so I'm looking. Yeah, if we want to go ahead and order some, but then I need to know if we do want to order some. Then I need to know how is it first come first serve? Is it some municipalities are doing a lottery? You put your name in, you get to pull it out because it's only 2 cases per producer is all you can get, no matter how many acres you have. And then you got to do the evaluation form before you even come back and get any more. So, yeah. They say in a bottle should do an acre, but I don't see how they come up with that. because every infestation is different. So that's,
I honestly don't know what to tell him.
yeah.
What do you tell Steven right now about the product, whether or not we get it? I mean, I know myself, I'd have a really hard time complying and filling out your paperwork, you know? I just get out my 22, but
You said you can only order 20 cases?
That's all I'll possibly get the first, if,
One customer can take 2, maybe you supply 10 customers.
yeah.
Maybe you should just claim $10,000.
do you want him to bring it in or not? 22, but
My
I get-
honest feeling, with all the red tape and all that, I say no.
You talking to other accidents?
Oh, yeah, there is a survey that the AAAF we put out, that's circulating. It actually went out on Friday. And they're gonna ask questions, yeah. People, some people aren't gonna deal with it, or I don't think Warner wants to deal with it. But other
Here's the
areas
problem.
are.
I've had a few guys call me and I told them and they're like, oh, we don't want to do it. But if we don't take it, then the feds are going to say in the province, well, we had it, nobody wanted it. So then it's going to be never an option again.
That's the negative side, and I think of that also.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we do that, we should have some, one of the producers who wants to try and do it. It's an opportunity.
I think some guys might do it.
Yeah, you-
You,
I had one guy tell me, because I don't care what the rules say, I'll say I'll do it, but I'm not gonna do it here.
well, if I come down and fight them $1 million, it'll be, oh.
But the negative thing is that comes back to Steve and us.
Does it? That's the question.
Well, again, they had, nothing more has been said on the fines, just from what the conversation, when I asked that question, they didn't say we would be, or they didn't say we wouldn't be. They said let the investigation lead where it goes. But they said in the form I saw on Wednesday, and again, I wish they would fill up the SharePoint, because it's also be on the SharePoint file, which I'm on. Nothing's in there yet, but it had, I saw where it had jail time. Not just a fine, but they had jail time. It didn't say, it just said in the, what the producer fills out, the jail time.
I would say if we did all of our part, told them what they had to do, and they still didn't do it, how is that our fault?
Yeah.
I talked to Steve this morning, I said, maybe we should create a form that says, you know, I promise to do all the work and hold Carson County harmless. And to sign it, and won't affect us probably, but it will be.
All the rules were explained to me and
Yeah.
And I, yeah,
agreed to follow.
How much was it get for 20 cases? How much it costs?
yeah, about eight grand, over $8,000, I think.
I think people take it, I think.
Well, so yeah, guys they're asking for it, some of them, so.
Did it, and then like I said, we have to send half back. Is it a?
Well,
is it our own bill?
we can sell it to other municipalities that if we do it, no one wants it, no one's going to deal with it, we can sell it. So the first order, I could order 20. And then if no one wants it, we could, by the end, middle of spring next year, we can sell it to municipality that's been using it.
But we only got next year to use it.
Yes. Yeah. And producers need to, the training is out there right now, but it's only good till September. Then they got to redo the training again next year. Yes. And here, okay, there's a third question. So a second one, first one, we're going to get it. How do we want to do it? It's first come, first basis? Is it, how do you guys want to do that? Any suggestions? And then first serve. Do you want to limit? So we cut back a little bit on it? I guess see what the demand is maybe, and then, so, because. Okay,
The case of the time.
Yeah.
Come back in a week and no one used it.
do we want to mark it up a little bit or just cost recovery, have an administration fee on it? Okay. All right, so do I get them? Yeah, just put a little bit, okay.
We'll have no extra spending.
Just see me driving.
I mean, you buy some-
You'll send me some stuff. That's comforting. Okay, so that's a motion then to get 20 cases
We're,
then?
are we in a, we're, camera's rolling, right? Good. Yeah, we are in. With regards to item 12.7 and the liquid strychnine, motion would be,
I make a motion that we bring in 20 cases.
motion is sponsored by Councillor Nish that we secure some of the product. We're gonna go with how many cases?
20?
20. And as far as how it's released, the county resident is gonna have to sign a waiver.
I'll find a lot of documents, I understand.
Yeah.
One would be ours.
Okay, we'll make up that.
We could do is you buy one case at a time and for a week, you come back and get another one if there's any left.
Can you prove that they've done the course prior to selling it?
Yes, there is a folder that's, it was interesting, actually, 9 people, as of Wednesday, only 9 people in the county had done the course. Yeah, so other municipalities there was 687 that had done it in the province in the restricted, where the emergency use can be done in the province. Some municipalities had 80 people do it. We've only had the 9, so.
So how soon do you think you could get it? Because right now is when it needs to be out.
It should have been, honestly, it's too late, unless you have a canola field. I would say it's too late, wouldn't you, Tom? It's, yeah.
So can you use it next year then?
Yeah, next year, yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
Okay, a motion is on the table to go ahead and get the product with some of these other statements that we made. Councillor Nish has made that motion. Those in favor? It's carried.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah. You guys already did.
Oh, the Mexico one, we just ditched it to Mexico.
We had to get to Mexico.
Yeah.
Steve, when are the mowers out? When are they gonna start going?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Scrolling down there.
What do you use for kosher? Cause I got some I'd like to spray.
We're using detail, young, and then we're gonna switch to octane to get the higher.
Okay.
We hope it rains.
This will start tomorrow.
So this next item, we have a time frame, and I think it's fast approaching the deadline on when we have a privacy management plan in place. That's what I understand when I read your request here, Murray.
June 11th is, it's actually supposed to be due now, but they extended it to June 11th to have all the municipalities have a plan in place. So I've been working on the last couple of months ever since we were at Brownlee LL or Emerging Trends. A little bit to it. So I got some off the county of Lethbridge, a little different than the one I initially did. What you're really supposed to do is talk to our authority, what we can do and can't do, how we're required to protect everybody's privacy. That includes anybody that we're gathering information for, so tax notices, employment stuff, and we can't share that. We have to have a plan on how we're going to do that. If material is breached, how do we respond to that breach? How do we let people know that there has been a breach? So basically, this is a simple plan. Right now, I've decided to put myself as the designated privacy officer with the goal of appointing someone else down the road when they get a little bit more training. And then have somebody else, maybe Taylor, do the information when someone requests information. How is that processed? So as part of this plan, we have to have certain privacy or policies on how to handle it. So that's what the 6 documents to the left really are, is the policies on this. basically a lot of them say the same old things. The hardest part, as I mentioned in my report, is really how do we know where the private information is? So private information is, someone's name, someone's phone number, someone's legal address, someone's social insurance. An image of that person is private information if we have it. There's a whole course we've just taken and told people to take the course, but it lists all those things that we have to protect. Realistically, I think we're sitting pretty good. Our system is secure. We're going all our documents to SharePoint, which has dual authentication, so you just can't get into it. Everything else is locked in the filing cabinets. There might be something on my desk, or Joe's probably, because he gets so much of this information, and someone puts an application in, and it's got their name and their phone number, and he just lists it on his desk, and the janitors come in and see it. Technically, that's a breach. Okay, so there's a few training things that we have to do, but that's the biggest part, is how are we finding out where this information is. There's a guy out there, a firm out there that will come in, tell us a one-time where it's at one time, or we can do it on a regular basis. I'm not really happy with what they've done for us in the past, so we're working with a new group to kind of see if they can find something to do it. If not, not sure what I'm going to do besides look through each of the informations and say this is where it is. So that's all I'm going to do. But really, the policies we need you to review, see if they're okay. They're pretty generic, and then we will have to implement them. Taylor, Joe, and I met with another group just last week that is going to do some help with policy management, and they are indicating they might be able to do something as well on knowing where that information is. So I'm not too worried about breaching and getting it out there, but to meet the standards, we got to have council approve the policies and approve the plans. So this is amending policy. Most of these policies will have to be reviewed at least once a year as it changes. So the next couple of years, you guys are going to be doing policies every year type thing. It's going to get, paperwork is going to get stupid, but. So any questions on that? Any questions on the policies that you looked at?
There's a whole lot of them there, but like you said, we have to adopt those individually, right?
Adopt them individually. I think Taylor kind of put them on. We can almost say, yeah, we're going to adopt these policies, and we can just make one motion. This first privacy assessment is a form that we made that basically anytime we look at different information, so new program, a new thing, and we're going to gather information from people, we have to fill it out and make sure how we're going to protect that information. It's just going to be a nightmare sometimes on making sure everything's followed. So yeah, I don't know if you don't need to pass it today, but you need to take the time to read them at least so you know what you're looking at. And this does apply to, as it says in there, council, staff, anybody that's doing contract work for us. It all has to follow these rules.
Any questions or concerns with what he's brought forward? Are we willing to move that we adopt these several policies right now to become compliant?
Yeah, I mean,
Even if I. This be approved or not.
we need to have the policy in place, the plan in place by the next council meeting. Doesn't mean we can't change them as we're going.
Councillor Harris has moved that we adopt these.
You need to approve the plan too, or just.
The plan and the policies. I think you do it as one.
Okay. Yeah. And then policy.
Motion to adopt the plan and the policy of the privacy management plan. Any further discussion? Who's in favor? Carried.
I thought that would take a while to get through that one.
Effective.
Took a while to read through them.
Yeah.
Holy flip.
Our policies.
Okay, why don't we move to item 13? Earlier today, we had a public hearing for bylaw 871. A rezoning. And we can have this discussion here and consider second and third readings for this bylaw. Mr. Stringham was here earlier. It's a kind of a continuation of what was happening further up the road. It's been worked out, his water supply. It looks like there's individual accesses off the county road with new culverts.
But this report lots.
Shared access.
Just a comment, Mr. Chairman, on the neighbor who came in opposition. His points aren't wrong. These towns originally were the best farmland around. That's why the town was kind of built there, and it's definitely a shame to lose this good quality farmland that's around these communities. Having said that, I understand the desirability of someone to want to live there too. So it's definitely a balancing act here. So I'm sure looks like pretty good land, and definitely a shame to lose it. But there's also people that want to live out there too. So.
That's one, somebody might want to bring propellant or have some horses up there, and so just not agriculture, but it's still, being used. Just talk a little bit about water on there, because pretty sure that on this cell, it's going to do the backside. So we've got where's my house? Go down. Yeah, right there. So 222 and 52. We want to tie into that and come back to the north with the water line for that. They made application yet?
I have not seen anything.
They thought they said they got it. Okay. So what I'm wondering is oversizing that line and taking it down and at least gonna bring a 2-inch line down. But he's on pressure.
No. Rice's pressure, Lee's gonna be all trickle. Anything after Rice's is all trickle system.
So each resident's gonna have to have a pressure reducer.
Yes, because they're at like 80 pounds.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is when you get called now and I'm down and us put a pressure reducing line and tie back into that line, have an upgraded evaporator line and loop all that together to get a better flow of water for everybody.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yeah, Derek and I took a look at the line that goes up through Stringham's land already. They're actually tying it in, like it's coming off the line over here, and Stringham's line's coming off the line over here, and it's meeting down here. The loop would be it wouldn't make any sense from where, no.
Darren told me we would increase better flow if we had a loop around for everybody.
Well, unless he's thinking about looping it in at some other location, but where Derek and I saw it, it was like you're talking about not even half a kilometer away from each other.
So you're talking about, whose house is this?
No, so in this, that's being very rough.
So which one's Vavris?
Yeah, that is.
Which one is his?
So go back to.
Right there. Here.
That's mine. Okay, so go to that corner there. Right, yeah. Up
Oh, this one.
that corner, up in the northeast corner.
The water
Right
line
there.
goes to, the water line's already there?
No.
So you're saying run the
So
water?
he wants to come from, he wants to come from down here at my corner and go up to him.
And then you're saying come down from here and
So I'm
climb
saying,
together.
yeah, so come back to where Lee's gonna stop up there.
So run,
And come to there.
Your line goes through here. Here. I'm assuming it goes all the way down this way.
So our line comes,
let me just see if I can see it.
got the pressure reducing station.
Yeah.
Comes right straight down like that. And it comes to here. Kind of comes to there's more. But he could either way, it's just he's taking his own land, he sticks here. Not going into fields. That's the only difference.
So with what Derek and I saw, your line comes down this way.
Yeah.
That line comes down here, we'd be hooking it in here. So we would loop would be just this spot right here.
Okay,
So
I just wondered if, and that would probably be fine, I just wondered if he come to here, and we looped it, we loop everything.
if you re-looped it, if he comes back up to here, you re-loop it going up to here, then yeah, that would make it.
Yeah.
But
And then when Lee wants to do this next bit up here, then he could tie into that 4-inch line servicing that's now. We got something to do.
yeah, he already has a connection.
He's got one. Yeah.
Where's the piece in question right now with the lead?
Right here.
Okay.
So he's gonna tie in up here, off this one, come down here and put in four services. But eventually, he'll take and do this back here.
So even when it does that back 40, and let's say they're all 3-acre lots.
Yeah.
A 2-inch line would feed all of those guys on a trickle system. So like we could do it either way. Like you could loop it in right there or not loop it in right there. It's just,
So he came down from the end, tied into our 4-inch line. The problem is, they're at full pressure, we're coming out of the pressure because
well, according to Derek, you guys are full pressure too. Your line is, it's coming off out of the pressure reducing station, but it's coming off before the pressure reducer.
before the pressure.
That's what Derek thinks.
Like, I've got decent pressure. I've always talked about putting a little booster pump. I don't have great pressure in my house.
Which does make sense because it does go uphill
Yeah, we're going
towards
back
your
uphill.
place, right? So, but it's like 80 pounds at the pressure reducing station.
Yeah.
And so by the time it gets to yours, like it might be down to 20.
Yeah, I can take
PSI.
a transfer from my yard and go south, and I don't look very far, but if I go north, I look over top the elevators.
Yeah.
But if you said, is Vavra looking at building something here? That's why he wants it there.
Let's get a house in there.
So if he goes a half mile and we come a half mile down to meet it, that way, you're thinking that will give better pressure to everybody.
But that's a 4-inch line.
That we have.
Yeah.
It's-
We'd have to take a look at it. If Derek is right and you're coming off before the pressure reducer, like the pressure you're losing is just elevation. Right? And us tying in probably on a 2-inch line probably wouldn't help you a whole lot. But it could.
I just work, to service all that area. Service it all. But if you're taking a 2-inch line to service all that, then we're
On a
fine.
trickle system, yeah, with 80 pounds of pressure. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That would be no problem whatsoever.
These guys have water though? Anderson's, isn't that old D Anderson place?
That's Roush, leave that water.
Coming from a well or from the co-op?
No, from
He's on the co-op, Dean's on the co-op. And then it goes.
properties to Highway 62 is on the co-op.
We don't have lines going that way yet, eh?
He's,
No, we got a map. Gotta get Horst to put them on our.
Put 'em on
there. Our thing.
Yes, and we have a map that shows. all-
We are collecting them. Yeah, and when we take over a co-op, we're requiring a map and then we're taking the maps to Orsk and Orsk is putting them up on our.
These are the last two that we got. North McGrath.
We're verifying the locations as we're doing stuff, cause some of them way off base.
You can get it done for so much stuff.
Does that satisfy your question right now?
We should definitely take a look at it though, before we do anything, obviously, right?
We're considering second reading if someone's willing to move. All right. Any further discussion? Those in favor? Period. Any concluding discussion? Mike always says the rezoning is everything, right? We're rezoning it for this purpose, basically. Those in favor? I agree with you, Ken. Well, it's kind of hard to see a nice wheel line on there producing a lot of good looking feed, you know, and it's taken out, but it is what it is.
Residents' comments were very valid.
But if you're gonna save all agricultural land, you better get rid of all the houses in McGrath and put them back to ag. But you're not gonna do that. And we gotta grow. People have gotta have a place to live, so takes up space. Yeah.
On the other side of it is we kind of look at it as allowing people to do what they want with their land too, you know, I mean, we don't want to be seen as forcing somebody to do it in agriculture when they got another option that is better for them, so.
I remember hearing Paul McLaughlin at the RMA just go on and on about saving the farmland. And I mean, it might be a little different everywhere you go. You know, maybe it's more scarce where he lives, you know, it's more treed up there. Maybe
There'll come a point, not in my lifetime, but we'll probably have to do what BC does, which land is put in the agriculture reserve and it can't come out. So just like the prime agriculture land, that's what BC's rules are. It kind of ties takes your property rights away, but they have limited ag land in BC too. So they do have, but they do have, can't remember what the name of it's called. Yeah, once it's in there, it can't come out. So.
They also, a lot of municipalities have, their agriculture land use district is straight agriculture. They don't allow any other types of development to happen on them. So
So this is our large landowner maps that all the colored lots are, and our land is not going to sell. Either through colonies or McIntyre's, Church Ranch, environmental groups. So that area around McGrath is pretty well preserved. You'll see patches here and around Mountain View, and that's all private. That we subdivided it. All this there's a lot of land that's
never to be developed, very unlikely to be developed.
You can see. A little bit of Mount McGrath that's open, but south of it for sure is all taken.
Well, the other side of it is we're encouraged people to keep their subdivisions close to larger centers so that we don't take land out of the middle of a quarter section.
Yeah, like our commercial subdivision is the proximity to an urban center is close and the services are there and it makes sense, right?
No, my point was traditionally towns were built where people lived and they lived there because that was good farmland. So, you know, no offense to Rogers area, but it's not exactly. But I'm just, you know, it's not as productive per acre, right? So anyway.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next item under 13, the bylaw 874 to consider second and third readings for a parcel we had a public hearing on northwest of McGrath for the purpose of creating residential parcels. I'll move second reading. I'm happy to move second reading on this. I agree with Joe. That land there that you see on the north end of the parcel isn't overly productive farmland. It's kind of a good spot to put a house adjacent to our county roadway, and there is water available by the sounds of it with our county administered water lines. Anything else you guys would like to add about that? Makes sense to me. Any other discussion? Those in favor? Carried. Third and final readings on the table here for bylaw 874. Any other discussion? Those in favor? Carried. We will see in the near future more residences being built, and that's one of the ways we grow in this county. Additional items, Murray, an annual meeting regarding our shooting association. There's some type of a formality that we need to have once a year. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot all about this until this morning when I was thinking about it, and it's like, oh wait, we're supposed to have a annual meeting on our shooting association by the end of May of each year. Anyway, I just thought, well, maybe if we put a motion on the table that just says we're keeping everything the same because you guys are the board of directors right now until we start building, and then it's start operating, and then we can have one next year, I guess. But
that makes perfect sense to me. There's no work really being done, but it is scheduled to be done or started. So nothing's really changed in the last several months, a year, I guess, right?
Yeah, and once we start, we probably should have a meeting to start talking about who's on the committees and all this stuff, but.
I'll make that motion.
Those in favor? Carried. Councilor Baker, Mountain View parcel. Yeah, probably be better. If we're talking about individuals, we should probably go to a closed session. But before we do that, let me just talk about this emergency management meeting that was held here. It was the last meeting that Marion Carlson was responsible to host. Our new county employee, Danny Melvin, was here. He's taking over the reins there. He's got a bunch of work to wrap his head around, Murray.
He does.
He's got a lot of catching up there, but he can do it. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but thank you letter to Marion, maybe on her outgoing work that she's done for the county. And according to Marion, we passed our emergency management audit with flying colors. This municipality is one of the front runners of being prepared when we compare ourselves across the province. That's what she was letting us know. With those drills that we had and the plans that we have in place, the regional plan, it's a good thing that we're involved in. So that's all I wanted to say about that. We can get her off a letter maybe and just.
Yeah, we can write a thank you letter and
All right, we move to go to a closed session by Councillor Baker. Those in favor? Great. We've had good discussions today. We took care of business. Thanks for keeping the agenda reasonably, not overly long is what I'm trying to say.
about the Boundary Creek would go in.
I was really, if you're gonna be getting out here, headed to the
Motion for adjournment. Councillor Harris, we're adjourned. Thank you.